Thought Power, Chapter 4. The Functions of Thought Power. Thoughts promote radiant health. The body is internally associated with the mind. Rather, the body is a counterpart of the mind. It is a gross visible form of the subtle invisible mind. If there is pain in the tooth, or in the stomach, or in the ear, the mind is at once affected. It ceases to think properly. It is agitated, disturbed, and perturbed. If there is depression in the mind, the body also cannot function properly. The pains which afflict the body are called the secondary diseases, vyadi, while the vasanas or desires that afflict the mind are termed mental or primary diseases, adi. Mental health is more important than physical health. If the mind is healthy, the body will necessarily be healthy. If the mind is pure, if your thoughts are pure, you will be free from all diseases, primary and secondary. Mens sana in corpore sano, a sound mind in a sound body. Thoughts develop personality. A sublime thought elevates the mind and expands the heart. A base thought excites the mind and renders the feelings morbid and dark. Those who have even a little control over their thoughts and speech will have a calm, serene, beautiful, charming face, a sweet voice, and their eyes will turn brilliant and lustrous. Thoughts affect the body. Every thought or emotion or word produces a strong vibration in every cell of the body and leaves a strong impression there. If you know the method of raising an opposite thought, then you can lead a happy, harmonious life of peace and power. Thought of love will at once neutralize a thought of hatred. A thought of courage will immediately serve as a powerful antidote against a thought of fear. Thought power changes destiny. Man sows a thought and reaps an action. He sows an action and reaps a habit. He sows a habit and reaps a character. He sows a character and reaps a destiny. Man has made his own destiny by his own thinking and acting. He can change his destiny. He is the master of his own destiny. There is no doubt of this. By right thinking and strong exertion, he can become the master of his destiny. Some ignorant people say, Karma does everything. It is all destiny. I am destined by my karma to be like this or that. Why should I then exert? It is my destiny only. This is fatalism. This will bring inertia, stagnation, and misery. This is perfect misunderstanding of the laws of karma. This is a fallacious argument. An intelligent man will certainly not put such a question. You have made your own destiny from within by your thoughts and actions. You have a free will to choose now. You've got swatantrata in action. A rogue is not an external rogue for all times. Put him in the company of a saint. He will change in no time. He will think and act now in a different way and will change his destiny. He will become saintly in character. Dacoit Ratnakar was changed into sage Valmiki. Jagai and Madai were transformed. They were rogues of the first waters. You can become a yogi or a jnani. You can make your destiny. You can make your karma in any way you like. Use the power of thought. Think rightly, think nobly. You will have only to think and to act. By right thinking, by right desiring, by right acting, you can become a sage, a millionaire. You can attain the position of Indra or Brahma by good thought and action, by good karma. Man is not a helpless being. He has a free will of his own. Thoughts cause physiological disorders. Every change in thought makes a vibration in your mental body, and this, when transmitted to the physical body, causes activity in the nervous matter of your brain. This activity in the nervous cells causes many electrical and chemical changes in them. It is thought activity which causes these changes. Intense passion, hatred, long standing bitter jealousy, corroding anxiety, Fits of hot temper actually destroy the cells of the body and induce diseases of the heart, liver, kidneys, spleen, and stomach. It is a point worthy to note with care that every cell in the body suffers or grows, receives a life impulse or a death impulse from every thought that enters the mind, for you tend to grow into the image of what you think about most. When the mind is turned to a particular thought and dwells on it, a definite vibration of matter is set up, and often more of this vibration is caused, the more does it tend to repeat itself, to become a habit, to become automatic. The body follows the mind and imitates its changes. If you concentrate your thought, the eyes become fixed. Thought power creates environments. It is often said that man is the result of his environmental forces. This is not true. We cannot believe this because the facts always prove the contrary. Many of the world's greatest men have been born in poverty and in adverse circumstances. Many who have been born in the slums and filthy surroundings have risen to the highest status in the world. They have won laurels of fame and distinguished themselves in politics, literature, and poetry. They have become brilliant geniuses and beacon lights of the world. How do you account for this? Sri T. Muthuswami Iyer, the first Indian High Court judge in Madras, was born in absolute poverty. He had to study at night under municipal lanterns. He had not sufficient food. He was clad in rags. He struggled hard and achieved greatness. He rose above the environmental forces by strong willpower and iron determination. In the West, sons of cobblers and fishermen have risen to very high position. Boys who did polishing of boots in the streets and who were selling beer in jars and were cooking in hotels have become famous poets and able journalists. Johnson was placed in quite adverse environments. Goldsmith was passing rich with 40 pounds a year. Sir Walter Scott was very poor. He had no place to live in. The life of James Ramsay MacDonald is worth mentioning. He was a man of great purushartha. He rose from poverty to power, from the field of labor to the status of Prime Minister of Britain. His first job was addressing envelopes for 10 shillings a week. He was too poor to buy tea, so he drank water instead. His main meal every day for months was a threepenny beefsteak pudding. He was a pupil teacher. He took great interest in politics and science. He was a journalist. He gradually, through right exertion, that is Purushartha, rose to the position of a prime minister. Sri Sankaracharya, the exponent of Advaita philosophy, a spiritual giant and a brilliant genius, was born in poor, unfavorable environments and circumstances. There are 1001 instances like these. It is quite obvious, therefore, that unfavorable environments cannot annihilate the potential greatness and excellence of the future geniuses, that one can outgrow environments by diligent application, patience, perseverance, truthfulness, honesty, integrity, sincerity of purpose, iron will, and strong determination. Every man is born with his samskaras. The mind is not a tabula rasa or a blank sheet of paper. It contains the impressions of thoughts and actions of the previous births. Samskaras are the latent potentialities. These good samskaras are valuable assets for men. Even though he is placed in unfavorable environments, these samskaras give him protection from extraneous, undesirable, hostile influences. They help his growth and evolution. Miss not any opportunity. Avail yourself of all opportunities. Every opportunity is meant for your uplift and development. If you see a sick man lying down on the roadside in a helpless condition, take him on your shoulders or vehicle to the nearest hospital. Nurse him. Give him hot milk or tea or coffee. Shampoo his legs with divine bhava. Feel the all pervading, all permeating, interpenetrating, indwelling God in him. See divinity in the glow in his eyes, in his cry, in his breath, in his pulsation and motion of his lungs. God has given this opportunity for you to develop mercy and love, to purify your heart, and to remove grina, hatred, and jealousy. Sometimes, if you are very timid, God will place you in such circumstances wherein you will be forced to exhibit courage and presence of mind by risking your life. These world figures who have risen to eminence have utilized all opportunities to the best advantage. God shapes the minds of human beings by giving them opportunities. Remember that in your weakness lies the strength, because you will always be on your alert to safeguard yourself. Poverty has got its own virtues. Poverty infuses humility, strength, power of endurance, and luxury begets laziness, pride, weakness, inertia, and all sorts of evil habits. Do not grumble, therefore, of bad environments. Create your own mental world and environments. That man who tries to evolve or grow in adverse environments will be a very strong man indeed. Nothing can shake him. He will be of sterner stuff. He will have strong nerves. Man is certainly not a creature of environments or circumstances. He can control and modify them by his capacities, character, thoughts, good actions, and right exertion, that is Purushartha. Tivra, that is intense. Purushartha can change the destiny. That is the reason why Vasishtha and Bhishma have placed Purushartha above destiny. Therefore, dear brothers, exert, conquer nature, and rejoice in the eternal Satchitananda Atman. Thoughts form the physical body. The body with its organs is no other than the thought. The mind, contemplating upon the body, becomes the body itself, and then, enmeshed in it, is afflicted by it. This physical body is the mold, as it were, made by the mind for its own enjoyment, for its outpouring of energy, and thereby gaining different experiences of this world through the five avenues or channels of knowledge. The five jnana indriyas, organs of knowledge or perception. The body is really our thoughts, moods, convictions, and emotions objectified, made visible to the naked eyes. All the bodies have their seat in the mind only. Without water can a garden exist? It is the mind which transacts all business and is the highest of bodies. Should this gross body be dissolved, the mind will assume fresh bodies to its liking very quickly. Should the mind be paralyzed, then the body will not evince our intelligence. With the majority of mankind, the thought is greatly under the control of the body. Their minds being very little developed, they live in Annamaya Kosha mostly. Develop the Vijnanamaya Kosha, and through Vijnanamaya Kosha, that is Buddhi, control the Manomaya Kosha, mind. The erroneous thought that you are the body is the root of all evils. Through wrong thinking, you identify yourself with the body. Deha dhyasa arises. You are attached to the body. This is abhimana. Then mamata, mindness, arises. You identify yourself with your wife, children, house, etc. It is identification or attachment that brings about bondage, misery, and pain.